Well, here's the non-shocking story of the week. The chair of the Women's Gender and Sexuality Studies Department at Northeastern University feels what she calls legitimate rage against men, all men, and believes that it, quote, makes sense for women to have rage against a group of people that has systematically abused them, she said non-grammatically. In a Washington Post opinion piece, the professor demanded that men stop running for political office, said men shouldn't be in charge of anything anyway. After all, she wrote, we have every right to hate you. Jason Nichols is a professor at the University of Maryland, and he joins us today. Professor, great to see you.
Great seeing you.
Why is it that we turn our children over to the care of the least happy, least mentally stable, least impressive people in our society? Is there anyone unhappier than this woman, do you think, in America?
Well, look, I mean, first of all, she has the right to say what she's saying.
For sure she does, and I'll defend it.
And she has, we have a big attack on academic freedom. We have to stand up for people to have the right to say certain things, even if we disagree with them. Now, I think a lot of what she's saying is actually correct.
If I was taking her class, and I took some women's studies courses in college because I wanted an easy grade, and they're so dumb, it's not hard as long as you hate yourself.
Absurd.
But if I
come to Maryland and take one of those women's studies courses.
But let me be honest. If I stood up and said, I am a man, and how dare you attack all men on a collective basis, how do you think I would do in her class?
I think you would do fine.
Right.
The reason being, show me her evaluations. Are students out there saying, Professor Walters, I believe her name is, Professor Walters mistreated me because...
Well, I don't know. The whole system is opaque. You can't get those data.
We're getting into hypotheticals.
Of course we are. But if she stood up and said, I dislike fill in the blank, some ethnic group. Right. Polynesians. I was mugged by a Polynesian. I hate them. I have every right to hate them. If you're a Polynesian kid, I think you would have a right to say, gee, can I be treated fairly in this class? That's a reasonable thing. But
again, that's apples and oranges. You know that men are the people who are in power. When we look at Fortune 500 companies, 4.5% of Fortune 500 companies have women CEOs.
What does that have to do with anything?
And women are the majority.
The most powerful country in Europe is a woman. I mean, I guess that's the point, actually, that I would make. And
we've never had female leadership.
Is that you can't and you shouldn't ever make collective judgments about people on the basis of things they can't control. Their sex.
Yeah, but so what is the judgment that she's making? She's saying that patriarchy exists, that women are oppressed by men. Those things are true.
But not all women are oppressed by men. That's a lie. And it's also a sign of mental illness to really believe that.
So you don't believe that
every woman is oppressed by every man? That's like demented.
So you
need
don't
help
know.
If you think that.
No one ever said that every woman was oppressed by every man. She's saying that patriarchy is a system that has existed for hundreds of years in which women are suppressed. And again, I can give you many examples, not only in our society, but in societies around the world.
It's very hard for me not to keep on with the invective because she's so dumb that it shocks me she could teach in a college, okay? But I will set that aside and ask, if you believe that, how can you occupy a paying job at a university that a woman should be sitting in?
Well, again, I think that I didn't agree with everything she said in that op-ed.
Okay, but if you want to fight the patriarchy, look,
I think there are ways to fight patriarchy.
How about resign and give your job to a woman?
Where you don't have to resign and give jobs.
But wouldn't that be pretty effective?
I think one of the effective ways to do it is to recognize and be willing to accept female leadership. That's what she's really saying.
No, I think what she's really saying is you should resign.
I don't think that's what she's saying.
Patriarchy is real. And give your job to a woman.
No, I don't think that that's what she's saying. And the argument should be systemic. That's where I actually had an issue with what it was she was saying.
Every man is the same. Just like every member of any ethnic group is not the same. But
every man needs to recognize women and be open to female leadership, which many men are not. And that's the problem.
I think that women should be open to treating men as individuals and not as a group.
Yeah, I think that has happened historically, but right now we need for men to be open to female leadership.
When you resign, call me. Professor, great to see you.
Yeah, I'll call you for a job.
Greg Gutfeld thinks our robot overlords are coming, and he applauds their arrival. He's here next to explain.